All right, so to continue on with this idea of slope, we just mentioned that the slope is the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. Okay, and so let's take one more example here. Here I have 2 points. I have the point 1 comma 4 and the point 5 comma 6. Okay, so maybe I'll jot those down a little bit bigger. I know it's a little hard to see sometimes when things are written so small. So 1 comma 4 to 5 comma 6. And again, I want to just calculate the vertical change and the horizontal change and divide them or find the ratio. So in this case, if I think about this as a right triangle again, I have the vertical change, or the vertical side of that triangle. The change from one point to the other is what I'm referring to. That goes from a height of 4 to a height of 6, right? That's the y values in those 2 points. So from 4 to 6, again, we subtract them in the reverse order. 6 minus 4 gives me a height of 2. The horizontal change, again, that's going to be in the x direction. That starts at 1 and runs over to 5. Okay, so from 1 to 5, again, we subtract in the reverse order. So it would be 5 minus 1 gives me 4. And again, we divide those two values to find the slope. Okay, the slope is that ratio, vertical change to horizontal change, which in this case is going to be 2, oops, yeah, I should do it this way. Slope is m. M is going to be 2 on top and 4 on the bottom. Right? That's my vertical change to horizontal change. And then when I simplify that, 2/4 reduces to a fraction of 1/2. Okay? And so essentially what that means is that the vertical change is half that of the horizontal. Okay? The vertical side is half the length of the horizontal side. All right? And so again, we could calculate the slope between any 2 points on this line. It doesn't have to be those specific 2 points, and it will always reduce down to the same value, in this case 1/2. Now let me show you a general formula that we can build based upon this idea. So instead of using actual numbers in the problem here with the 2 points, let's say we didn't know what the 2 numbers were, or the 2 points were. They're just 2 general points. I'm going to call them, they're going to have xy coordinates, but they're both going to have xy coordinates, so I don't want to just use x and y in both of these. I'm going to distinguish between the x's and the y's. So I'm going to call one of them x1, y1, and the other one x2, y2. The numbers are going to be subscripts that just distinguish between the 2 x's and the 2 y's. Okay, so I'm going to call this one x sub 1, or subscript 1, comma, y sub 1, and this other one is going to be x sub 2, comma, y sub 2. Again, those are subscripts. The numbers are subscripts, just denoting that there's a difference between the 2 x's and the 2 y's. All right, so again, I'm going to set up the same sort of structure here. And I'm going to start with just writing out the 2 points, x1, comma, y1, and x2, comma, y2. Okay, so again, 2 points. They both have an xy coordinate. But I put the subscripts on there just so that you can see that they're 2 different values potentially. Now the vertical change, again, same idea. It's the difference in the y values. Okay, so what we've been doing is we subtract in the reverse order, the second one minus the first one, and that gives us the difference. So here I'd have y2 minus y1. Now, of course, when they're variables, I can't combine them because I don't really know what those values are. Okay, so I've got to leave it unsimplified. The horizontal change is again the same. It's the difference in the x values, right? So you go from x1 over here on the left over to x2 on the right, and you subtract them in the reverse order. So it's x2 minus x1, okay? Now, these two expressions, they're expressions this time, not values, because we can't simplify, are going to be placed in the ratio for slope. And so the expression for vertical change goes on top. It will be y2 minus y1. And on the bottom, we have the expression for the horizontal change, which would be x2 minus x1. Okay. This formula, this is a general formula, that we can use it now for any 2 points on any line, and we can find the slope between them. This formula is called the slope formula, and it's going to be an important one that you guys will need to memorize or know for every test coming up. You're going to need to know this formula, or you could, I guess, construct it if you needed to. However that works for you, but I think just memorizing it, you'll use it enough, I think, that you'll be able to use it, or kind of use it out of memory, okay? So, very important formula. In fact, I'm going to circle it in red, okay? Make it stand out. Let's run through, I'll run through a couple examples in the next video so you can see how to use that formula.